Hey, everybody. Happy Christmas Eve, and welcome to Daily Distinction. Hope you got your shopping done. If not, now's a good time to start or send Amazon gift cards. Hey, today we're going to be talking about story selling. Story is important. We're going to be talking about story selling and why I don't believe in it. That may come as a surprise after you've heard me talk about story for the past few days, but I don't believe in story selling. And I'm going to share with you why that's the case on today's Daily Distinction. Really glad that you're here. And I want to begin with a reminder that if you'd like to grow your story construction and the way that you tell stories and that, you heard Larry Winget with me talking about it yesterday, just go to distinctivestory.com. It's coming up on December 30th. I don't know about you, but for me, that week between Christmas and New Year is kind of my calibration week. It's the week I kind of get everything together, get it ready to go with what's going to be happening in the coming year. And so story should be an essential part of what is coming on with you in the coming year. So let's do it. Sign up, distinctivestory.com. Would love to see you. Hey, Brian, you bet survival of the fittest in the stores. No kidding. Darwin at work at the stores right now, huh? So, that's great. Coffee cheers to you as well, my friend. Hey, Scott, always great to see you. Thank you for being here. Darcy, hope all is well with you and that you're doing well, and thank you. Best to you and yours as well. Thank you for being here. A couple of announcements too before we get into the content. Charles, always great seeing you from balmy San Jose. You know, it's cool and windy here in Vegas today. It was in the 30s when I took the dogs out this morning, and it's only up to 48 right now. But which still isn't bad compared to a lot of places. Did you just see? I just saw about this huge wreck on the interstate in South Dakota. It's like a 20-car pileup because of the blinding whiteout conditions there with snow. So I'm not going to complain about 48 degrees, but very cold and windy for what we're used to here in Vegas. Hey, a couple announcements to get us started, and that is on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, there's no Daily Distinction. So I'm going to be taking care of things on the holidays, and I'm sure you are as well. So no Daily Distinction tomorrow or Friday. And here's an announcement that I have been putting off for a while, but needs to be made. And, you know, I started Daily Distinction back in March when COVID was happening and not it's still happening, of course, but when the COVID situation started and everything, you know, went awry with all of our schedules and all of our calendars and everything back then. And it never dawned on me when I launched this that Daily Distinction would be going on as long as it has been. And I'm really grateful to everybody that watches Daily Distinction. But I am needing to announce that Daily Distinction is going to be coming to an end. There's a lot of reasons for that. And one of them, as you might imagine, is it's the need to be fair to those who are investing in the resource of my coaching and the things that I talk about. I've been very fortunate through the Distinction Summit to have folks sign up to attend the Distinction Summit. I've been so fortunate that folks have signed up for our intensive coaching. We've got some people that are coming to the Distinctive Story program coming up on the 30th. And I have to focus my time and energy and efforts on the folks that are investing in my resource. So I've been spending so much time, obviously, preparing these programs and not just in the doing, but in the preparing of the programs, that it takes away from my ability to serve. The other thing is, you know, there's a point too that if you give everything away, no one wants to buy it. And I've sensed some of that happening in my situation. I was talking with Ken Walls about this, and one of the things, Ken, I took his incredible course on live streaming and involved with that. But if you think about it, when Ken live streams, as he does every day, multiple times, but when Ken live streams, he's not live streaming about live streaming. He's doing a live stream where he interviews other people and talks with other folks, but you invest in his course to learn how he does it. It's kind of been the opposite with me, in that I want to teach you about distinction, and I hope to get people to invest in that. but yet I'm here talking about it and giving it away every day. And I've really appreciated that opportunity. I am sincerely grateful for those of you that have made this a part of your day. And I will still be checking in from time to time. I don't mean it to sound like I'm never going to be back, but in terms of a daily program at the same time every day, the last daily distinction is going to be the day before our distinctive story program. So the final daily distinction will be December the 29th. And I want to thank you for being such an important part of this. We've had a, as they say in show business, we had a great run. And I never imagined it was going to go as long as it did. And I'm thrilled that it did. But the last daily distinction will be coming up on December 29th. So let's talk about why I don't believe in story selling. Story is so important, right? And we've talked about the incredible power of story, and that's more what we're going to be talking about on December 30. But I think we got to be careful about what the purpose of story is. The purpose of story is to connect. It's the purpose of a story. When you go see the movie, the purpose of that movie is to connect with the audience, to make an emotional connection with the people in the audience. When you go see a play, even at a concert, the goal is to feel like there is this emotional connection. So the goal, the purpose of your story is to connect, And that's where you have to maintain your focus. You have to maintain your focus that the purpose of story is to connect, because when the purpose of story is to sell, it becomes manipulative. You get to the end of the story, and then the tendency is to go, now, if you want to know what happened next, why don't you buy my product? That's manipulative, right? It's manipulative. And also, it gets very formulaic when you approach it in that manner, because you're setting them up and you pull the strings to get that's not the goal of story. Now, look, naturally, you're going to sell more with people with whom you have a deeper connection. We talked about that in sales forever. People buy from people that they like and trust. So the goal is to get them to like and trust you. Naturally, that's going to enhance your ability to sell. But it can't be the purpose of the story. Connection is the goal of the story. After you connect, then your efforts should be to grow the connection you have by establishing a relationship or enhancing the relationship. And part of that usually means, how do you enhance the relationship? Well, they buy your product or service. You get a chance to serve them. You get a chance to be engaged with them, right? I mean, I think about the folks that have joined the intensive coaching program, and got a call with one of them in the Washington, D.C. area when we finish up here. And I told a story about how you could benefit, but the purpose of the story was to make this emotional connection so people would feel that. When that happens, guess what? Then they bought from me. And now that I'm doing intensive coaching with them, then guess what else happens? That connectivity is enhanced and it goes deeper. Now, in that way, I can be of greater service to them, but simultaneously, it increases the likelihood they'll buy again. That's good for me, but I also hope, and it's got to be good for them. So what happens here is that what we're trying to do is to establish a relationship or enhance a relationship. And the way that we do that is through connection. And that's what story does. So you use story to connect, but not as a way to manipulate somebody into a sale. That's why the story should be able to stand on its own, whether it is a part of a sales presentation or not. The story shouldn't be your pitch. Now, the story could be part of the conversation that you have with a prospect or customer. But if your entire pitch is the story, then you've really missed out on what story can do, because in many cases, the person hearing will think, man, that was manipulative. That was a setup. And how do you have a great connection with somebody that thinks they're being set up? But if you tell a story in a way that enhances or establishes connection, an emotional connection, the logical outcome of that is they want to be more involved with you. The logical outcome of that is they want to buy from you. The logical outcome of that is they want to experience your level of customer or employee experience. So I don't believe in story selling. I don't believe the purpose of story is to sell. Let me reinforce, the purpose of story is to connect. And the better your story, the deeper the connection. Hey, Jerry, great to see you. Read the first chapter on Amazon to buy the book to get the rest of the story. Paul Harvey was paid to give the, exactly. Paul Harvey got paid to tell you the rest of the story. You start at the beginning. So, yeah, providing value, but not providing the day to do it. To learn how, you got to buy Ken's course. Yep, exactly. Ken provides value in an amazing way, but he doesn't sit there and teach you every day how to do what he does. To do that, you've got to be part of the course. Jerry, you and I've talked about that, and I've appreciated your insight on it. Charles, thank you very much. It has been my blessing, and it has been my privilege to do this. And we've got a few more to do before we're wrapped up. Oh, thank you, Darcy. I appreciate that. I have to admit, I will miss it too. It's the right decision, but it doesn't mean that it's always an easy one, right? Oh, I appreciate it, Brian. Thank you. Yep, it has created some great relationships, and I appreciate that so much. Jesse, how are you? I hope we do get to catch up at another Black Hills Safety Conference. I don't. It's downstairs. It's so funny. It's great to see you, and so funny you say that because I've got a Black Hills coffee mug, and I was drinking out of my Black Hills coffee mug just this morning. So was thinking about what a great experience that we had at working with Black Hills Energy and everything that you folks do. Such a privilege. Thank you. Hey, Sweden is checking in. Thomas, thank you so much. My goodness. What great memories I have of speaking several times in Stockholm, and saw an email. I'm on the email list of Hotel Diplomat in Stockholm, which is where I stayed every time I was over there speaking. And my goodness, I've got to tell a quick story. One of the crazy things that happened to me when I was in Stockholm was it sounded like something was going on in the street, and I thought it like people yelling and cheering and everything, and I'm like, wow, and so I opened up the window and I looked out, and because I was overlooking the street from the hotel, and there is a tradition. Thomas, I don't know if it's all of Sweden or just in Stockholm, but when you graduate from high school, they get in the back of trucks, like these open 3/4 ton trucks or open pickups, and they blow their horns and they cheer and they go up and down the streets of Stockholm, and it was just so cool to see all of these folks just celebrating. And I've thought of that often during this time of COVID, when we haven't been out and celebrating as much. That one of the great celebrations I ever saw was there in Sweden, there in Stockholm, which is what a fantastic city. And summer in Stockholm, as good as it gets. That's for sure. Hey, Jerry, yeah, Ken Wall's favorite saying when you ask him a question is, "It's in my course." Yes, right. At Franklin College, where I went to college, I had a professor that wrote the textbook for our class, and it was in mathematics and logic was the name of the course, but he'd written the textbook. And it was so funny because he could not imagine there was a question that any student would be smart enough to ask that wasn't covered in his book. But he was a mathematician, and he had a mind like a mathematician. And you'd ask a question in class, and he literally would say, "Well, if you'll refer to page 138, I believe you'll find the answer there. Are there any other questions?" So he could tell you the page that it was on. I love it when kids says that. Yeah, that's part of it. So, Thomas, that's the whole country. See, I'd only witnessed it in Stockholm, so I didn't know if that was the whole country. But what a great tradition! What a very, very cool thing. I love it. It's something to celebrate. Hey, Alan, I didn't see that you were here. Great to see you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it, and hope that works out for us in person very soon, and we're all doing that. Yes, in fact, we will have our next Distinction Summit, Brian, in April, and I'll have the dates on that for you. But we will have another program, new speakers, and slightly varied content. with different folks who'll be coming there. But yes, there will be another Distinction Summit coming in April. So we'll look forward to that. So again, if you're getting in here a little bit late today, I mentioned that there's no Daily Distinction tomorrow or Friday for the holiday, and also my thanks to you as this Daily Distinction comes to an end. The last Daily Distinction will be December 29th. And most importantly, thank you so much for being a part of this. So, well, Donovan, you are terrific at storytelling, but we'll, just like anything else, I have a speech coach. So just like anything else, we all need a little coaching to make it the best it can be. All right, everybody, that concludes today's Daily Distinction. Thank you for being here. Tell Story to connect. That's the goal of Story, is to enhance and establish deep connections with the people that you seek to serve. I look forward to catching up with you again on Saturday for our next Daily Distinction. Thanks, everybody. See you soon.